Hello, beautiful people. I haven't done a video like this in a long time. Actually, I don't even know if I've done a video like this. Probably not. Probably not. I'm definitely being called to bring myself more into this space. Less behind my words and more with me. I recognise that, without my presence, it's difficult for me to share all that I know and all that I carry. And, my hope is that what I share is going to be of some value, is in one way or another going to support you to tap into your own sense of knowing, your own heart, your own roots. So yeah, here's to more of me seeing myself fully so I can be present fully, so I can show up fully, and really honouring what I have to share. So today I just wanted to talk about, so recently my beautiful son turned 13. He has become a teenager. And I mean, for one, I'm like, where did the time go? How did we get here? How did this happen? Part of me feels like I've blinked and like, oh, what? You're a man now. But what him becoming 13 really supported me with was to consider, how do I want to honour that? A lot of my spiritual practices and my spiritual journey really began with the birth of my son, and it has deepened over time. And what is becoming more apparent to me is the importance of ritual and ceremony. And over the last few years, I've been really working hard on integrating that into my family unit, and really acknowledging that it's new. I was the black sheep of the family, so I've created a lot of paths that have never been created before. So his 13th birthday was approaching, and I just thought, what, I really need to honour this phase, this moment in time. And I really wasn't sure how it was going to look or what it was going to be like. Of course, I had the grand ideas and, but in terms of working with where I am and what I have in this moment, I created something quite small and intimate for him. And gave him a coming of age ceremony. And it was the first of its kind in my family. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And it just left me thinking, how do we honour this phase and this stage in our teenagers' lives? Do we give them the opportunity to mark or checkpoint their journey, as in, we're going into a new phase of life, a new transition? And how do we honour that? How do we honour that moment? I know that I didn't have that moment, and I didn't have anybody to really honour that moment. I know some people do, big parties and big celebrations, but I just really wanted to hone in on the initiating change. And yes, celebrate, absolutely, it's necessary, but what are we celebrating? I guess I just wanted to share what I did to inspire and encourage other parents to really bring their teens into their center, into their forefront, and honor their transitions in a way that can really support them to move forward and to know, I'm no longer who I was. I'm not quite sure who I'm going to be, but this is my community around me who I have to lean on me. So I'm just going to share with you one of the things that I wrote, or what I wrote with, to introduce, to sort of the preamble for for his ceremony. I invited my family, and it did actually become a bit of a coming of age and a coming out party, spiritually speaking. Because like I said, it was never done before. We've never done this sort of thing before within my family unit. So I was bringing something very new, but something very sacred and important to me and my family unit that I wanted to share with the wider family, who are pivotal support systems in my community. And it's funny because I was very aware, I've got a lot of different belief systems and religions, and I also wanted to respect and honour those too, yeah, that's who I am. But anyway, I'm going to read what I wrote and then I will go into how I formatted it. Yeah. So one of the things Josiah said to me when I told him we were holding a ceremony for him was, but why? I wasn't born into this. And the truth was he wasn't, not in this way anyway. It made me think about what exactly he had been born into. And what I recognise is that it's a continual unfolding. I've been learning how to heal whilst being a present leader for my children. I've been learning how to integrate the learnings and teachings into our lives as I go, because I was not born into this either. It is being created. And whilst having a rites of passage, coming of age ceremony has not been in our family tradition in this way before, in this lifetime anyway, it is now a new tradition that we are beginning together. You see, much of what I'm integrating into our lives has come about as a result of my own healing journey and connection to spirit. I was born into a family with mixed beliefs and ideas about God. I was taken to churches and partook in worship. I was christened as a baby and have attended other types of blessings. And all of this gave me a really good foundation to begin my quest of questioning what was right for me and what didn't fit. What parts didn't feel aligned to who I am and what parts I wanted to keep. One of the things that has become very apparent in my spiritual practice is ceremony. Ceremony to honour us, earth, life and all it encompasses. The honouring of transition, movement from one phase to the next. Honouring our connection to God, spirit and ourselves. And as I continue to learn from my children, I recognise that there have been life moments that could have been better held, honoured and supported with ceremony, with community. That when I look back at Indigenous cultures and traditions, there are many practices that honoured this, and it feels like a lost tradition. That honoured the interconnectedness of life and all that resides within this earth and all that is above. God, Great Spirit, Source, Creator, he, she of 1,000 names that cannot be named, right? I believe that initiations and rites of passage are necessary checkpoints on life's roads, and without community, we can miss the checkpoint and keep travelling on roads that no longer lead to where we need to be. Roads that may have become dead ends. How do we signal to our internal compass, to our inner spirit, that things are changing? And how can I support you in acknowledging that your life is now on a new course? We celebrate the teenage years, we celebrate becoming a teenager and being closer to adulthood. It is really where we begin to develop our identity, and our identity is most impacted by others. I think the teenage years are one of the most underestimated, most fragile, under-supported stages of life, and have such an impact on how we enter adulthood and later life too. And I believe our teenage years are a culmination of our childhoods and all the possibility of who we are. Who are we? We're still seeking and working it out. And this stage needs to be held and guided by community. I want community for my children. I want people in my circle who are able to reflect the love, respect, care and compassion for the journey of life. As my children step onto their paths, they know who is beside them, in front of them and behind them, who is holding them, guiding them and leading them as they unfold into their own leaders. Being a teenager means beginning to take responsibility for yourself, your body, your choices. Outside what you've been taught, you're developing your own sense of who you are, what you want and need, and what dreams you're creating. It needs the most holding, and in a way that honours who you are and where you are. So this ceremony was about bringing awareness to the fact that we are now moving from one phase to the other. We are being held in love as we transcend all that we were and move into all that we are. It's a moment to be honoured, celebrated, lifted up, surrounded by people who you love and who love you and have the guidance and wisdom that they can impart on you. One of the things that I'm learning is that without community, it's very hard to thrive in this life. We all have important wisdom and teachings and healing to share. And I'm focused on building community for my family that honours each member for who they are, that sees them and can be a source of nourishment, where we know we belong and can commune in faith, love, trust and pain too. That it becomes a place to land. So, and this was to Josiah, I was like, you were born into this. You're living this now. And whilst, you begin to cultivate your own inner standing on what these traditions and practices mean for you, I'm here to guide you from my heart. And you'll make up your own mind about what you want in your life as you grow. Yeah. So we sat in a circle, which I think, for me, being in circle, it's like the connection, it's the unification of all. We had planned to do it around a fire outside. The weather was not in our favour. So I just lit some candles in the centre, which was just sort of representative of the fire and of transmutation and of sort of the burning away of what no longer serves, and a place for our prayers to be held and amplified and all of that good stuff. And after my little speech, each member spoke to Josiah directly. And we also had him on a chair, on a throne. We decorated it with ivy and leaves, and really bringing the outside in, and some lights and gold, and so he was like center, and he was in his throne. So each member of the family acknowledged him, wished him happy birthday, but imparted wisdom. Each person gave him a piece of themselves, and advice and wisdom. It was just so beautiful, so beautiful. And there was about 18 of us, just like, really immediate, close loved ones, and also his friends were there, which was so important, because I think it's important for him to be witnessed in his peer group, but also for them to see something different too. I don't know what they do in their lives, but just, these were his really close friends, and to share this really important moment, I think it was important, and they also were able to give him some words of advice. As I'm talking about it, I'm just like, it was just phenomenal. It was so phenomenal. It was heart-centered. It was nourishing. And anyway, so each member offered Josiah some words of wisdom. What would be supportive of him? And it went all the way around the circle, and then it came to Josiah, and he said, thank you for coming, thank you for being here, and I know that, if ever I fall down in life, then there'll always be someone to pick me back up. And I was like, yes! You understood the assignment, son. You understand that each of these people here reflect your support system, and it's not always going to be me. And as a mum, that was really hard to sort of let go of, the fact that I am not 100% fully responsible for everything in my child's life. And yeah, we need community. It really does take a village, and each person had their own parts to offer him. And yeah, and I just really loved that he received that. And Josiah is a very sensitive person. He doesn't like to be the center of attention. He doesn't like the spotlight on him. So I was very conscious of time, and also respecting his autonomy, his boundaries too, and his sensitivities, whilst also acknowledging the importance of this moment that he may not yet realise or understand is important for him. So yeah, he gave his speech, and then he was anointed with a beautiful oil, and just to offer blessings and prayers to his spirit that he is able to take the next phase of his journey in love, that he sees with love, that he hears with love, that he speaks with love, that walks in love, that he knows he's connected and protected, you know. And then he was crowned, handmade. I didn't even get any pictures because it was just not type of moment. It was just such a present moment, you know. But I do have some footage. I will post it. Yeah, he was crowned, and we sang to him, and he sat and received it. We sang a song of love and told him about how much we loved him, and he cried, and we all cried actually. Yeah, how are we honoring our teenagers? You know, I was in the supermarket the other day, and there was a security guard at the door, and you know, it was like not letting a certain amount of kids come into the shop. And this young boy came, I think he kind of went around the back. He tried to come in, you know, he didn't really respect the boundary. But I just really noticed the way the security guard was immediately intolerant with him and just like harsh. And I just thought, if that was my son and someone was speaking to him, I would be so furious. Like, I would be like, how dare you? Like, I get it. I get it. But how are we connecting with our teens, man? You know, how are we connecting with them? Yeah. So, just to sort of round off really and finish up, I just wanted to pose some questions of reflection. And maybe they'll be helpful, I don't know, but they were certainly helpful for me and my family when thinking about being a teenager. And I don't know if we stop as adults and pause and reflect on who we were as teenagers and where we were at and what we were going through and what we needed and what would have been helpful. So, yeah. If it feels right for you in this moment, maybe take a moment and close your eyes and just take a deep breath and just bring yourself here for a minute. And I'd like you to think back to when you were 13. Do you remember what you looked like? What type of hair did you have? Did you care about your appearance? Why? Why or why not, right? What was home like for you? The people you lived with? Did you feel supported, respected, loved? Who were your friends? Was there one who you felt understood you? Was there a significant adult who you trusted? Where did you take your pain? Where did you take your secrets? Did you still have imagination? Did you fantasize and daydream? When did that change? Who did you share your joy with? Who celebrated you? What did you understand about life? When you consider all of what you were experiencing in your life at age 13, what did you need to hear the most? And when you reflect, what did you need from your support system that you now recognize as invaluable? What are the words of wisdom that will help your teenager to hold on to their sense of self, to feel supported in difficult moments, to feel held in the face of uncertainty, when they are experiencing doubt, when they're experiencing fear, Who can they share their triumphs and joys with? Yeah. I'd love to know how those questions sit with you. I'd even invite you to get a notepad and pen and answer those questions, like really honestly, for you. Yeah. Really answer them and check in. Where was your teen? What did your teen need? And maybe that can help you to see your teen more fully, you know? And I'd love to know if you have done something similar, if you've had a sort of rites of passage or a coming of age for your teen. And I'd love to know what that was like. What did you do? How did you honour them? What was important to you? Yeah, I'd love to hear more and share all of the ways that we can do this for our lovely, beautiful children and our community, you know? So yeah, thank you for being here. It's been like 20 minutes. I didn't really know I was going to be here so long, and it felt really nice to connect in this way. So yeah, here's to more. Here's to more. Here is to more. Lots of love.